Thank you for moving in a great, efficient, orderly fashion from Leon to here. Before we actually start, I'd just like to share a few house points with you all, particularly in relation to your tables, first of all. On your tables, you'll find various bottles of wine, various bottles of spirits. They are for purchase, I believe, at retail rates. And the BritCham team are allocated to tables. BritCham team, please put your hands up, those who are allocated to tables. Okay, if you open a bottle, it's very simple, you pay for it. Okay. If you want some more premium spirits, over at the far side, there's some, I'm told, excellent scotch and a few other things also available over there. During the course of the evening, we'll also have some raffles, some games, but in the first instance, this first hour is our business hour. And for this business hour, can I have some order, please? Order! It's not the House of Commons. This first hour, we're actually being joined by quite a number of people virtually from the United Kingdom, others in Jakarta and surrounding areas, Surabaya and Bali, who can't be with us, and also some of our friends from the Britain in Southeast Asia group across Southeast Asia. This is our business hour. Okay, I think you all heard about the drinks. They're there for your purchase. Put your hand up if you want to purchase. Others at the other end of the table. We're ready to start this evening.
The British Chamber of Commerce in Indonesia has been fostering connectivity between businesses in the United Kingdom and Indonesia since 1979. Our mission is to promote trade and investment through our diverse network. Our members are well represented across all key commercial sectors, from energy, mining, FMCG, automotive, manufacturing, aerospace, to finance and services industries, with tens of billions of investments and over 3 million real jobs created, contribute to investments and growth in trade. The BritCham Business Centre provides market access support through business matchmaking and trade mission management. The Business Centre is the door to critical meetings with ambassadors, key figures in government, lawmakers, and local leaders of influence. Our Education Centre now has 15 British university partners and offers a unique holistic approach to UK university placement, combining internships and work experience with mentoring and first career steps, steering Indonesia's young adults into exciting programs that will give them a career head start and fill the nation's talent gaps. BritCham Indonesia has 4 established member-focused groups. These focus groups engage in strategic activities that bring businesses, trade associations, and governments together to help tackle global challenges and create new business opportunities. BritCham is the most active foreign chamber of commerce in Indonesia, with over 60 events a year. To our members, we are an invaluable ecosystem that can help manage risks and optimize business opportunities. To our host country, our members are the success stories that will inspire much more in trade, investment, and national development for many decades to come. Together, we thrive.
And with that introduction, I'd like you please to give a very warm welcome to our new first ever Indonesian national as chairman, Pak Rino Dono Sapotro, better known and able to be called Donny to all of you.
A very good evening to all of you, and I'd like to just address a few of the special people who are with us this evening. First of all is Mr. Didi Ratam, Vice Chairman of Kadin Indonesia. Welcome and thank you for being with us here tonight. Hugh Moffat, Country Director of British Council. We got Pak Tony Pranadaya, who's our Chief Advisor, if you will, and our senior here. We also have our colleagues from the Indonesian Foreign Ministry, Mr. Benanto Situngkir, Director for ASEAN, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And on behalf of BritCham Indonesia, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to our annual award and recognition and Triennial Bash. Now, I know that typically this event is a set of two big events, our summer sizzling event and the Christmas bash event, but none of you seem to have any patience to wait for summer, let alone Christmas. So here we are tonight. Not to forget, I also would like to welcome many of our members who are out there, not with us, but joining us live. So Chris, is that still happening, by the way? Yes, so welcome to all of you. Technology permitting, I know we wanted to give you a chance to join us, to see, be seen, and to be heard as well. Unfortunately, I know you have to provide your own drinks, but there you go. Look around us. I mean, tonight it's all fully booked, and it's really great actually to have. We are fully subscribed, and it's been more than 2 years since the last time that we gathered all of here, you know, together like this. And I wanted to thank all of our sponsors and supporters for making the event tonight possible. This is actually my first opportunity to speak directly with all of you, our members, as the new chair of BritCham board, as I just took over a few weeks ago. So it wasn't meant actually for me to deliver this speech in this event because we had delayed it from last year. But I wanted to say again, thank you to our fellow board members and to all of you members who have given me your trust and confidence in being the next steward of our beloved organization. I can see that BritCham has really gone from strength to strength. You can see the video. By the way, can anyone guess whose voice that is? If it's not obvious enough, I mean, that's our is of course actually is our everlasting young and energetic executive director of 16 years, Chris Wren. But I would like to pay tribute. I would like to pay tribute to my predecessors, Ollie Riches, who unfortunately can't be here tonight. He has moved to Singapore, but he was planning initially, and Ainsley Mann. And without all of their leadership, dedication, we wouldn't have achieved what we have achieved. As you can see in the video, you know, up to this point. So I would like Ainsley, please stand up. And also Chris Wren, who has been our mainstay for the last 16 years. Can we give a big round of applause for those two gentlemen? Thank you. As Ainsley knows, my actual shoe size is definitely much bigger than Ainsley's, or Ollie's for that matter. But in terms of BritCham leadership, I got big shoes to fill, no doubt. On a more serious note, we see that the economic relations between the UK and Indonesia have really grown very much closer, despite the challenges of the pandemic. Just to take some dipstick point, last quarter of 2021, total trade between UK both exports and imports were at $2.8 billion, a 5% increase, 2.8 billion pounds, a 5% increase from the end of Q4 2022. So year on year, actually, it's an increase. We also jump on a more recent note in trade of goods between the two countries, where if you look at 12 months rolling from March last year to last March, UK exports of goods to Indonesia increased by 25%, while UK imports from Indonesia increased by 32%. So that really goes to show actually how closer we have become. The Joint Economic Trade Committee, or JETCO, where Her Majesty's Governor have been instituting in quite a number of countries, the non-Commonwealth countries. With Indonesia, the first ministerial meeting was successfully signed and launched earlier this year. And we are very pleased that BritCham has played a significant role in contributing to the recommendations for the discussion at the JETCO. So BritCham, for over 40 years, have been representing British businesses in Indonesia. You can see that in the video with over 250 corporate members. We have been contributing very significantly to the economic development of Indonesia. We are represented in, I can't really think actually of any sector that we are not represented in. Really, I mean, from tech, renewable, sustainable energy, education, healthcare, finance, retail, manufacturing, including some of the hottest industries actually now, which is renewable, both energy, circular economy, the whole entire value chain of nickel all the way to EV, and of course, education for Indonesia. Collectively, the British companies in Indonesia have invested tens of billions of dollars, if not more than over $100 billion, and has created over 3 million jobs in Indonesia. Our members have also been taking active part in the current B20 task forces and committees as chair as well as co-chairs under the current Indonesia G20 leadership. We have been helping in driving vaccination. I mean, I should not forget to mention actually that as well. We play a big part, or members of us actually have played a big part in the vaccination drive of Indonesia. We are also helping Indonesia significantly in achieving its net zero commitment and ambition across many of the sectors. Going forward, BritCham will continue to build upon what we have achieved so far. We will strive to provide more value add to all of you members. I mean, of course, it's a member-first organization, so first and foremost is the members' interest that we should be working on. We will also enhance alignment with both our key stakeholders, the Her Majesty government and the Indonesian government. We will foster closer collaboration with partners. Kadin Indonesia has been an instrumental partner to us, and thank you, Pak Didit, for representing Kadin actually with us tonight here. And we will continue to promote our BritCham brand. So you'll be seeing a lot more of our brand in various digital media and I would say printed media, but I think Chris actually would disagree with me. Actually says that's an old style, So we'll have TikTok with Chris actually sort of dancing around a little bit actually there and so on. So that's, anyway. Sorry, Chris. Well, as you will hear shortly from Chris, tonight our purpose here is to showcase some of the noteworthy achievements, collaborations, business wins, innovations, breakthroughs among our members. It will be impossible for us to be able to cover everything, and we know there's much progress that has been made. But at least actually what we will show is something actually that we have got the consent to share with you. But we will be delighted to find the youth fora to showcase other progress that we have made. So let's take tonight as a quick update on things that we may have missed while, we haven't been shaking hands, we haven't been exchanging cards, or we haven't been raising glasses, which we can do now. And for now, please join me in a toast to all that has happened and to all that is to look forward to. I don't have my drinks. Actually, if I can have just a glass of Okay, thank you, Pak Raja. It's water, very healthy. Actually, that's okay. It will do, right? Long may BritCham strive. Cheers. All the best. And thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much. Our first Indonesian national as chairman of BritCham, Pak Doni. There are a number of people from overseas that have joined us virtually, and we want to give them a flavor of Indonesia during this hour as we punctuate certain parts of the accolades, mentions that Doni mentioned. And we begin by a traditional dance. Please give a warm welcome to our Javanese dance troupe. Thank you very, very much indeed. Giving us a nice cultural flavor, and during the course of our accolades and highlights, we'll also be introducing you to somebody else that became a close friend of BritCham, Elizabeth Michelle Heriawan, who has many noteworthy achievements out of Music College of London. She's a pianist, become teacher, and her own students are now receiving many accolades, and somebody that we met doing our outreach for Second Cities in Surabaya. We'll punctuate certain parts as we go forward with clips from Elizabeth Michelle.
It was the biggest political gathering of any kind ever held.
First draft of a climate agreement has been published at the COP26 Global Summit in Glasgow.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
The most active hotspot right now is Italy, nearly 200 people there.
3.5 years after the UK voted to leave the European Union.
He also explained that as long as Indonesia becomes the G20 presidency, a series of meetings will be held.
In the end, the calling card of Storm Unity.
Hundreds of families evacuate in the Mindoro provinces due to heavy flooding.
In East Flores, Indonesia, flash flooding and landslides.
Numbers begin to recede, the alarming scale of the devastation left by Hurricane Ada.
Other people would have been down on the coastline enjoying Christmas and New Year's festivities.
Full implementation of the Paris Agreement. This is a significant accomplishment.
They meet and deliver on the commitments.
As Pat Donny mentioned, this hour is very much about filling in the gaps of more than 2 years. Forced absence among members, among our associates, particularly our friends as well. Many of us today have lost friends, associates, family, acquaintances, either as a direct consequence of COVID or through maybe the stressful times that COVID generated. BritCham has indeed lost some friends. Some of them would have been with us this evening, and I'd be grateful for a few moments of your silence and reflection as we remember. Thank you. A first thing to share, Donny alluded to it, is the activation of our consultative board, a constitutional facility to maintain close relationships with people who serve the chamber in an exemplary way, but can no longer retain seats on the board. But we wish to honor, and in no particular order, our pre-COVID chairman, business trade ambassador to Scotland, and regional director for the Swire Group, Ainsley Mann. Ainsley, please stand up. Serving 6 years on the board, most as vice chairman, our go-to for all comms and tech inquiries from the UK, our expert for intelligence around digital and currently President Director of SICPA, David Burke. Also serving for 6 years, also as Vice Chairman, and our steady guide around the maze of legal and regulatory issues, Harun Rexodaputro, Managing Partner of Ginting and Associates, or Allen & Overy. Founder of BritCham's Young Professionals Group, which has been the door opener to many new professional stakeholder relationships. Former board member, a reliable intelligence for shipping and maritime, and his recent appointment as an advisor to the Ministry of Defense, Jay Singhi, President Director of the Bhumi Laut Group. Last but by no means least, but somebody with the misfortune of having been the only BritCham chairman never to have delivered a BritCham in-person event during his entire tenure. Now relocated to Singapore. We saw him last Tuesday. Now Managing Director of ASEAN for Michael Page Group. Donnie's direct predecessor, Ollie Riches. The Professional Women's Group was established as the first women's group among chambers of commerce just over 10 years ago. It remains the only active group among the foreign chambers, and in the last 2 years, in its switch to digital, has seen a spike in attendance to record levels. In addition, the group broke new ground with a mentorship program significantly supported by Shell and board members Diane and Yasuri, Valentina Chai, Leah Alizia, and Ranjana Singh. The intention is to expand the mentorship program and bring regular PWG events back to in-person, and we're grateful and very, very fortunate to have the group's 2 founding ladies with us this evening, Mariko Asmara and Soni Jetani. Soni, who will need to step down from the board next month. Mariko and Soni, take a bow. And the first of our clips from Michelle Elizabeth Heriawan. Clipped from her living room in Surabaya. Now a couple of in-house mentions. Oftentimes we hear that talent retention is a major challenge for businesses, and younger adults just like to move on from company to company, opportunity to opportunity, simply for fun, or maybe simply just to the annoyance of people like us in this room. Leah, our head of finance, hit 10 years with BritCham during the COVID, and we were unable to recognize her tenacity and her loyalty at that time. So it gives me great pleasure in recognizing her in this forum and thanking her for her extraordinary contribution to the financial consistency of BritCham. Thank you, Leah, but don't expect any Rolexes. Whilst Leah stayed for 10 years, then head of the BritCham Business Centre, Marsha took full advantage of an LPDP scholarship to Warwick University, from where she managed the BritCham COP Climate Chamber mission of 10 companies. And she did it with great professionalism and great maturity. The 10 companies were Astra International, Bank Mandiri, HSBC Indonesia, Forest Carbon, Goldteak, Indica Energy, Jababeka, Michael Page, Standard Chartered, and Tridi Oasis Group. We'd also wish to thank Ainsley Mann for his leadership and mentorship of this British Chamber and Glasgow Chamber of Commerce COP26 climate change collaboration. In parallel, BritCham supported the Indonesian Embassy and Kadin in organizing a business forum at the side of COP26 hosted by President Jokowi. After the forum, the President announced that through new and expanded investments from British companies totaling $8.5 billion, and from our estimate, 3/4 of that can be attributed to BritCham members. An incredible achievement and a further testimony to the commitment in the relation mentioned by Donny. COVID impacted businesses and families in different ways and to varying degrees. Many of our members quickly activated programs of support for their employees and their communities in which they operate. The bigger national challenges, though, required a national champion, and Kadin emerged with its Gotong Royong vaccination program. BritCham members supported generously, as Donny mentioned, and this represented an endorsement of the very strong ties between Kadin and BritCham and our support of its new chairman, Pat Arshad, and his newly appointed team. I'd like to please welcome to the stage Pat Didit, who will say a few words on behalf of Pat Arshad, who's in Europe for the Davos World Economic Forum.
Well, thank you, Chris. First of all, I'd like to thank the invitation extended to Kadin. Thank you, Pak Doni. I'm very happy to be here tonight. I see some friendly faces, everyone's friendly actually, but I see some familiar faces. I see Pak Harun, I see Pak Jay, my colleague at Kadin, and I have the new friends that I've made tonight. First and foremost, I'd like to extend regrets from Pak Arshad for not being here today. He compliments BritCham for the partnership that has been established for such a long time. BritCham being in Indonesia for the last 43 years and being a partner for Kadin in hard times, in good times. As Chris mentioned, during the COVID crisis, it's been an outstanding partnership. As many of you know, that Kadin has been also tasked now to organize the B20. B20 has 3 themes, basically transitioning of energy, transitioning of the digital economy, and global health. And in those, we see many BritCham members as well in the task forces, and for that, I thank you. I'd also like to point out that we are truly partners, ladies and gentlemen, BritCham and Kadin. We not only embark on the relationship, the partnership within B20 and G20, but we are also involved in the trade negotiations between our two governments. What I'd also like to encourage tonight and continue the partnership between companies in the instrumental and fields of mutual interest. And I think that is very important, and I wish BritCham, Thank you, Pak Doni, but that's fine. In any case, I'm here to again reassure our commitment at Kadin to work together in partnership, hand in hand with BritCham. Thank you very much.
You can drink without chatting, you know. And we'll have a second clip so that you can just get yourselves realigned. A second clip from Michelle. Thank you, Elizabeth. Michelle, at a time during when many businesses were being understandably cautious, BritCham has continued to innovate in support of our mission, our vision, and our commitment to the membership value proposition. One such innovation has been to fast-track the establishment of our education center, which is supported by our Human Capital and Education member focus group. The purpose of the Education Center is to provide an holistic approach to fully inform Indonesian families with the choice of the UK as a place to study. The center now provides options for members to have first sight of talent on their journey on the way to the UK, as well as picking up talent that is on its way back. We now have a panel of 15, mostly modern universities, who between them offer a tremendous practical range of qualifications, many aligned to the national priorities and gaps in talent. We have a couple of those universities represented here. And if I could ask for your attention, please, to welcome, representing Solent University, one of the first in the BritCham panel, to just say a few words. Emma Heathcote.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Emma Heathcote, and I'm head of International at Solent University. And I just want to say it's an absolute pleasure to be here this evening. And it's a real privilege to be working with BritCham. We are committed to developing skills, professional skills, among Indonesian students to return to Indonesia and to make significant contribution to developing change in your businesses and your companies. So it's with huge commitment that I'm here this evening, and a really big thank you, Chris.
Our pleasure, Emma. Also here, the University of West England, which has become the first university to take advantage of the BritCham Guardian membership. This is a membership which literally holds hands of members in the first 2 years of business development in Indonesia. UAE now has a full-time representative, Trifty, who sits in the BritCham office and enjoys an enhanced package of practical support. As had been the plan, the Education Centre is now a catalyst for many exciting partnerships and developments. Our member, the London School of Public Relations, was represented in the UK by their chairman, Ibu Prita Kamal Ghani, for the signing of a collaboration with the Leeds Beckett University. There are many complementary overlaps between the member focus groups and this education centre. Thank you to Ellen Utomo, who has led the Smart Sustainable Cities member focus group. It is during one of her webinars that Brian Bishop was able to showcase and connect with, and is now working with Liverpool John Moores on a research collaboration with ITS University in Surabaya. Brian, are you actually on the line? Can we get you?
Hi, Chris.
Brian Bishop?
Can you hear me?
Can, go ahead.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me? Yeah, thanks, Chris. We're a small company based in Liverpool, the United Kingdom. We were fortunate enough to receive government funding to carry out feasibility study, looking at the potential of the digital twin, and looking at an exemplar between Surabaya and Liverpool. We worked very closely with Chris and his team prior to this, when we carried out a webinar in July, which was highly successful and well received, which resulted in us getting funding from the government. We spent a whole month in Indonesia, and without the support of Chris, his team, and Dewi Sari from FCO, I don't believe that the mission would have been as successful as it was, but it did result in us signing a memorandum of understanding with ITS University, and our hope is to set up operations in Indonesia in the future. So again, I'd like to thank everybody in the team, for all of this.
Thank you very much for sharing from Liverpool, Brian. It's great to hear your personal experience. Our membership certificating body, NOCN, wave Tim, where's Tim? There you go, over there. Agility ship, wave Paul, there you go. And the Prudential, they have a table, where are you? Yay! They came together to be providers and consumers of a groundbreaking, internationally certified leadership development program just completed, and with graduation day on June the 2nd. Another perfect example of intra-membership collaboration. Thank you. Our education centre has an ambition to bring members together to offer BritCham scholarships with our university panel. I'm pleased to say progress means we already have buy-in from Suffolk, from Liverpool John Moores, from Solent and from UA. And it gives me great pleasure to confirm that the search is on now for BritCham's first scholarship for a Master's in Chemical Engineering at Teesside, with our donor member being Altilium, a newer member company to Indonesia, very much at the heart of nickel processing and the EV supply chain. Please welcome the Managing Director, Chris Gower.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, thank you. On behalf of Altilium, I'm very pleased to be the sponsor of the first first scholarship for the with BritCham and Teesside. We are very proud and very honoured to be able to participate in this program. Education being one of the greatest gifts that we can give to the next generation, and in this particular case, it's education in a subject matter which is also relevant to our company. So we hope to be employers of many chemical engineers in this country in years to come, and this is just the start. And I'm very, very grateful to Chris and his team for giving us the opportunity to participate in this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris Gower. There is another scholarship award as well that was in some part inspired during his time as chairman of BritCham, and to explain a little bit more, Ainsley Mann.
Greetings, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Donnie, great to see you taking over. I look forward to a lot of fun with you. Since I stepped down as chairman about 2 or 3 years ago, believe it or not, I got quite an interest in the arts and culture. As you can tell, I'm from Glasgow. We have a culture in Glasgow, though it's not very cultured. But I'm trying to learn. But seriously, I actually want to introduce you to 2 Indonesian ladies who I think are doing really, really good things here. And hopefully, some of you might be inspired to support the performing arts scene here. First of all, Nathania, can you please stand up? Nathania is the lead conductor, director of the Trinity Orchestra, which is effectively Indonesia's only youth orchestra, national youth orchestra. And she and I have come up with an idea to collaborate, to put on a performance around about St Andrew's Day this year. It will be a symphonic performance of Scottish music, bagpipes, and a lot of fun. So if anyone is interested in getting involved in symphonic, in an orchestra like this, but with a twist, a little bit choreographed by me, please come over and see Nathania and myself. We're going to put on a very, very big performance in November, and it'll be something really quite different. But it's great that there is someone like that in Indonesia promoting youth orchestras. So please, if you are interested, come over and talk to us later. Secondly, my brother and I run a charitable foundation in Scotland, and it's been going now for, well, my father set it up, but my brother and I took it over about 10 years ago. We contribute about £200,000 a year to charity, to basically arts and culture and grassroots sports in Scotland, mostly in my backyard of Glasgow. Last year, we decided to move it out, move some of the attention out, and we created a scholarship program in the name of my mother and father to sponsor a well-deserving student to go and study a master's degree in Scotland, primarily in 2 areas, the performing arts or life sciences, both of which are of particular interest to me. It's a full scholarship, full accommodation, but the key thing about the recipient is that they must have contributed actively to developing their sector in Indonesia, and they must understand the importance of bridging the gap between Scotland and Indonesia and developing relations. Chris knows, that I am quite passionate about education, and it really is the cornerstone, the foundation for future relations between two countries. The individual in person, Fanita, can you please stand up? Fanita set up the Jakarta Performing Arts Association. How many people have been to the theatre here? No, I doubt very many. There are not many theatres. There's not a lot going on not as much going on in the performing arts scene in Indonesia and Jakarta as there should be. And hopefully in the future, there should be a lot more. So I'm committed to supporting people like Fanita to develop her passion and get the performing arts scene really motoring ahead. Now, Fanita she got accepted to the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow. It's one of the top 5 performing arts colleges globally. Very, very difficult to get into. And she spoke to me about a year ago now and told me she'd got this. And within 2 minutes, I completely understood what she wanted to achieve. And she also understood what I expected from this about broadening ties between Indonesia and Scotland. So I'm very pleased that Fanita Amran is the very first recipient of the Bill and Aileen Mann Scholarship Award, named after my mother and father. Now, for Fanita, I've got a special surprise tonight. I promised her that I would get someone well-known to mentor her when she's in Scotland. So a very good friend of mine is one of the greatest musicians that Scotland's ever produced. Undoubtedly, the greatest classical musician that Scotland's ever produced. The youngest ever Scot to receive, youngest ever Scot in the performing arts sector to receive a CBE from Her Majesty the Queen. She's now the director of the Edinburgh International Festival, which is the largest performing arts festival in the world. Her name is Nicola Benedetti, and Fanita, she'll be your mentor for your year in Scotland. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ainsley. See what a whole load of passion does for a 90-second spot. Well done, Ainsley. Other initiatives blossoming from the Education Centre include CIMA and their launching of the CGMA Finance Leadership Programme. Also, Tuesday's commitment, those of you who are there, to provide guest lecturers and to judge and in support of APECSI. APECSI is the Indonesian Association of Mayors and their Youth City Changers Programme. It's a leadership programme. Perhaps it's the British Council that is better known for its role in support of British education overseas. Chenny, our manager of the Education Centre, works very, very closely with the British Council, particularly collaborating on promotion, on marketing. And the country director of the British Council sits on our board. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Hugh Moffat.
Good evening, everyone, and I can see the competition is behind us. The volume is increasing, so I'll be brief. You'll be pleased to hear. First of all, thank you very much to Chris and Pak Donny. Congratulations on your new role. You're over there. Sorry, I just realised the light is blinding me. It's great to be here on this event, which is again celebrating BritCham, which is such a great institution. The noise is great. And one thing to say is education is a priority for the UK. 10 years ago, you would say that the UK and Indonesia had a distant relationship. Now it's very, very close. Asia Pacific, Indonesia is in the top 5 countries in education. We have an international education champion called Sir Steve Smith, who's from the University of Exeter. He will be coming to Indonesia in November, and with him, he will be bringing a posse. I'm not sure what a collective of vice-chancellors, maybe you can, what is a collection of, I don't know, whatever. Some vice-chancellors. The intention is that Indonesia is an opportunity for higher education, and it is an area that the UK is very keen to support. And as British Council, we are doing our bit, but of course we are supported and working very closely with DIT, the British Embassy, but most importantly, BritCham Education Centre. And that is the key for me, that when we think about, for example, there's a scholarship scheme in Indonesia where many Indonesians are going to the UK. It's fantastic scholarship schemes. The most recent scholarship scheme indicates that quite a number of students are planning to go to Liverpool, which is fine. I wonder why that might be. Is it something to do with football? I'm not sure. I may be wrong. But the point that BritCham have highlighted is this issue of building a brand of our UK, our modern universities around the UK. We have fantastic high-quality universities across Northern Ireland, England, Scotland and Wales. How do we brand that? And that is where BritCham are coming in providing that bespoke service for partnering between universities in Indonesia and in the UK. This is a huge opportunity to build on, and certainly with the scholarships you are bringing as BritCham, as the British Council, as the UK government, we're seeing more of those scholarships, and Indonesia is the opportunity. Ainsley said it, it's about long-term relationships. It starts with education, and we're here to help and promote. But clearly, BritCham is supporting and leading on that. So thank you very much, everyone, for that opportunity. Have a great evening, and back to Pat Chris.
Thank you very much, Hugh. I'll tell you that the tables down here, and the tables down here, and the tables at the front are getting a little bit annoyed with the tables over here and at the back. Please hold your patience with us just a few more minutes. I now come to the second initiative, or innovation. No surprises, it follows the thread of education, of talent, of leadership, corporate succession planning, and the byproduct of our very dynamic Human Capital and Education member focus group. Its chairman, Dr. Paul Aitken, is the author of a first book called Developing Change Leaders. This was a specially commissioned piece for in-work senior managers studying on part-time executive MBAs. Inspired by his time at BritCham as the focus group chair, the relationship with so many members, all of whom have similar values around leadership, around sustainability, and also his opportunity to deep dive case studies and the willingness of the likes of former chairman Ollie Riches and Kadin Sharia Committee member Dara Cincinnati to make contributions. Dr. Paul is now concluding a second book, which is called, and I think we have it on the screen, The 12 Practices to Sustain Livelihood and Life, Future-Proofing People, Business, Society, and the Environment. The book is valuable reading for anyone passionate about preparing leaders of any age, in any sector, for the 21st century on sustainability. And for this book, and for the first time, and it won't be for the last time, BritCham Indonesia is the publisher. Watch this space for a very special introductory offer that will be coming to you as BritCham members. As has been mentioned, many of our members have made significant progress during these difficult COVID times. Truthfully, we're not aware, as Donnie said, we're not aware of all the successes that have been going on, all the collaborations and all the progress. Some are very proprietary as well. And we apologize if we miss a few. But during just this hour, we're just going to focus on those who are in this room that we're aware of. And we will use other opportunities in other fora, at other events during the course of the year to highlight any that want to be highlighted. But for now, I'll just focus on a few. Premier Oil. Premier Oil have a table here. Premier Oil is now part of a much larger group called Harbour Energy, and they've just started to drill the first deep water well in a new offshore area of Aceh. Well done. Dharma Polymetal. Where are you? First, the best CSR of the year in 2021 by the Economic Review magazine. The best of the best for Indonesia Human Capital Award of the year 2021. The best Human Resource Crisis Management by iSafety Magazine 2021. Believe me, this was just 3 of a long, long list that went on and on and on. Tremendous success. Congratulations. BP, Safety Award. Patra, BP, where are you? Yo, you're not the ones talking, are you? No. BP Safety Award, Patra Nibaya Karya Utama from ESDM in 2020. The Green Proper Award from KLHK in December 2020, again in 2021. Global Champion from the State-Owned Enterprise Ministry as Preferred Partner in May 2022. Remaining committed to Indonesia with 2 new blocks, with the UCC pod as well, approval for investment and significant reinvestment in the country. Great commitment, BP. Standard Chartered Bank, Indonesia, has committed to support energy transition with $500 million in financing PLN's non-coal electricity generating. They've supported Bank Mandiri with the first ever repo based on ESG principles. Go on, you can applaud, you have every right. Financed the Chirata floating solar panel power plant, the largest of its kind in Southeast Asia, which upon completion of the project will power 50,000 homes and offset 214,000 tons of CO2 emissions. In addition, SCB is supporting the development of a carbon credit bond in Indonesia and the Ministry of Finance as well, with over 3 billion in total in sukuk issuances. Real commitment from Standard Chartered. Aiden, Aquila, an ESG first digital twin platform incubated by Aiden Group, now deployed in Indonesia, has been named the 2022 Technology Pioneer by the World Economic Forum. This is an award with an alumni including Google, Spotify, and Airbnb. Highly competitive, recognizes the top 100 startups at early stages worldwide, and contributes now, or allows them to contribute now, to sustainability and economic development in Indonesia. I think we should stop serving drinks to the people at the back. What do you think? Shall we do that? Our thanks to Koroyan Partners for their exceptional advocacy partnership with BritCham. To Bhumivata, here present, represented in the room tonight by Managing Director Martin Topolowski. The company has grown its workforce from 25 to 160 and its business from by 80% since the onset of COVID. A great achievement. The British School Jakarta in securing an education and sports partnership with Manchester City Football Club. Oh dear. It's a hard one, that. Kelly's Express for the K2 Mobility UK Award for Services Excellence. That won among many commendations. Intra-Awards, receiving a grant, special project grant for the Duke of Edinburgh Award Foundation for a program called World Ready for All. Been performing brilliantly during the pandemic across 15 cities, Christian schools, madrasas and pasantrans, supporting marginalized and at-risk children, as well as those with disabilities and special needs society. Diversity, inclusivity, equal opportunity for all, a mantra and a mission that they're running with. Congratulations. There's another company here in the room. I wasn't expecting them. They're Shire Oak. I don't know exactly what has happened. However, what I do know is that they had a very, very progressive meeting, which we had the pleasure of joining them at with Minister Bahlil in London, and I look forward to their report in due course on how things are going. The BritCham Business Centre was established to provide market access support to UK SMEs looking to establish or extend their footprint in Indonesia. In 8 years, the team, now managed by Shella, who's been with us since the start, has managed around 300 company visit programs. Phil Cheadle, KLT Filtration, is here, and he's one of those that's tapped into the BritCham system for the purpose of looking for partners for their water purification and filtration systems, something that empowers consumers to permanently remove contamination from the world's water supplies. Good luck, Phil. The unit has expanded and diversified in recent times, and this has enabled us to introduce a third innovation of providing management support for CSR or ESG projects of members, particularly when their goals are aligned with our mission, with our vision, and with our principles. I'm pleased to announce that the BritCham Business Centre has just concluded a pilot project with Diageo. This is again been a collaboration of members, on this occasion the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, NOCN, to deliver an internationally certified hospitality employability program. And this has had the support of the Ministry of Tourism.
Good morning, friends from the media, to the teams at the British Chamber of Commerce and Diageo. I don't think I need to emphasize how devastating the impact of COVID-19 has been on our tourism and hospitality sector. While domestic tourism has provided a little respite to a few, much has been as good as closed for nearly 2 years. Entrepreneurs have lost investments, adults from all generations have lost jobs and family incomes, and the ripple effect of no tourism spend has touched millions of individuals and tens of thousands of businesses, and these are unprecedented times. Last week, I saw the first international flights return to Bali, so we must dare to hope and believe that the chance to rebuild lives and livelihoods is near. But we must remember that it isn't just the Indonesian tourism and hospitality sector that has suffered. Every country in the world has suffered, and every country will be competing fiercely to regain their shares of the global tourism market. Ways we must compete and be better include creativity and excellence. So I'm delighted to have this opportunity to comment on the Diageo and British Chamber initiative, Learning for Life. First of all, it is admirable that it targets young adults who have been made redundant from the hospitality sector. Secondly, that the goal is to improve service standards and skills. Thirdly, that it provides a critical, better understanding of how hospitality business works. All this represents a fantastic opportunity. Also, this partnership of Diageo and British Chamber is very significant to this ministry. Diageo has been investing and have invested in Indonesia for decades. BritCham has been supporting the Anglo-Indonesian relationship also for decades. Both are British, and pre-COVID, Indonesia welcomed more tourists from the UK than from any other country in Europe. As we recover, we need to rebuild the tourism relationship with the UK. So it is fitting that this 5-year Learning for Life upskilling program is being implemented by British brands and will get the attention of the British public. As we support this initiative, I also take this opportunity to send a message to British citizens that we are ready and eager to welcome you back to the charm that is wonderful Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Minister Sandi. Minister Sandi Uno, to speak briefly about the Indonesian version of their Global Learning for Life program and to announce a new extended business cooperation agreement that we'll sign right now with BritCham to cover up to the next 3 years. Please welcome Dendi Borman. Come on.
Okay. So, hi everyone. So, this is not in the brief with the Chris previously. But again, this is a great program that Diageo and British Chambers collaborate together, partnering this program is aimed to support the impacted people because of COVID, especially on the hospitality sectors and tourism sectors as well. So we hope that the partnering that going to be like in the 5 years, yeah, program that we're going is will be helpful and will be help Indonesian people that have impacted. And of course, welcome any other BritCham members that wants to chip in, want to join to make this program more impactful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dendi. And if Pak Doni would like to come forward and share the table here and sign with Doni this agreement, which is the first of its kind for BritCham over this period of time. Thank you very much. BritCham and Diageo bound to each other, Dendi, for the next 3 to 5 years. There are a few companies whose successes are in some part attributable to their engagement with the BritCham Climate Change and Environment Member Focus Group. This group was first chaired by Ainsley Mann and has recently been passed to board member and new chair Geoffrey Chatelier. As a man with definitely far more knowledge than me in relation to the environment, I'd like to invite Jeff to perhaps share a few highlights of some of the members within his group, which he's reluctant to admit include his own company.
Good evening, everyone. The 2021 climate negotiations hosted in Glasgow were an inflection point for the business community to take action on climate change mitigation. Many of our members made net zero commitments in moving towards carbon neutrality. Some of the members here in BritCham, L'Oreal, Standard Chartered, Shell, Mott MacDonald are now actively acquiring carbon credits from Indonesian projects. I also want to highlight one of our members, PT Surya, a solar energy company that recently closed a Series A investment of $21 million from Saratoga in East Ventures, where they can expand their business, where they already have over 90 megawatts under management. Also this week, the World Economic Forum chose 6 projects that are restoring millions of hectares of forests throughout the world. One of our members, Wildlife Works, their project in Congo, the Mayangombe project, was featured. And also, I'm very proud to announce that my company's project, the Sumatra Meringue peatland project, was also selected. So those are some of the highlights of the Climate Change Working Group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. And that completes the 4 of the member focus groups and the progress and the development that they are making. We mentioned Leah earlier as having had the 10th anniversary, but what is outstandingly exceptional for a BritCham member is to be at its centenary year. Centenary year in 3rd generation of succession, and choosing this evening as part of its celebration. They've broken a record and taken 5 tables, never before. I have never announced a 100th anniversary before. You heard the name mentioned before, and it is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage President Director of Indonesia's largest family shipping concern, J. Singgi, Bumi Laut Group in the 100th year.
Thank you very much, Chris. So, Pak Doni, as the chairman, and the previous chairman, Pak Ainsley, BritCham, board, and the previous board. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you for inviting us to this event, which is also a very long awaited. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to be here with all of you, and we've been waiting for this for a long time as well. We have 5 tables today of Bumi Laut, and they're probably not hearing me because they're probably, drinking. But no, once again, I would like to say thank you for recognizing our 100th year anniversary today. We were established in 1922, since our humble beginnings, and we still keep that spirit very much at heart. We have steadily grown into a company in several countries with headquarters in Indonesia, but with our main focus in the resilience and not size. So our focus is to go through the storm and to face the waves. At a personal level, I would also like to convey my gratitude and thanks to BritCham, having previously been chair of the YPG for a few years under the guidance of the board and the chairman, and also having had the privilege of learning and serving with the board for a couple of terms, and recently, along with the previous chair and former board members in the consultative board. Once again, the UK plays a very important role, and our family will always have our close affinity. Myself, as the 4th generation, as the head of the company, would also like to say thanks, of course, to the family. My mother is here, and my younger brother, Jordan. Of course, my late father, who have left us in 2017, but whose spirit shall always be in our hearts. And thank you. And just briefly, we will always have an affinity and link, a strong link to the UK. We were all educated in the UK from a very young age. And of course, speaking about maritime and shipping, you have the IMO, Intertanko, Intercargo, BIMCO, International Chamber of Shipping. Also want to recognize Kadin representative today. Thank you, Pak. So I think we keep it short and sweet so we can continue with the booth. And so once again, thank you for the recognition, and we look forward to seeing you at other events. Thank you very much.
Well said, well said. Continue with the board. We said we'd try and keep this to an hour. We're just a little 5 minutes over, actually, and we're coming to closing. This has been a long-awaited catch-up for members in many ways. We're delighted that those who couldn't have been with us in the room have been able to join us virtually. And we would really like you all to stand up, to raise your glasses to our friends in other parts of the world, other parts of Southeast Asia. And this is the Johnny Walker and Diageo toast. And I know you're all very, very confused. Christmas songs were playing in Leon earlier. As you came in, there were Christmas songs. You got Christmas crackers on your table, okay? And we're now going to ask you to just do 4 or 5 lines for an abbreviated Auld Lang Syne as we say to our friends, welcome, near, far, see you again.